Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for watching. My name is Zach, and today we're going to be building a house. Now, I'd like to point out quickly that my Chroma Hills texture pack, as well as my shaders mod, is going to be conflicting a little bit in some areas, such as the toolbar and the items menu as well. But nevertheless, let's get started. As you can see here, we're starting off by doing some planning. Like any good build, we're going to have to do a lot of it if we want it to turn out very nice. I have sections of 3 and sections of 4 on each sides. 3, 4, and 2 threes. Now that's going to be very important because I want the windows to be like 2 wide and 1 tall. And that'll give me just enough room on these sides to do that in between each log. So right now, we're just getting the logs up to the correct height for the roof, which I'm planning on doing a single peaked roof, just straight. Kind of like a V, upside down. Alright, getting these logs to the appropriate height. And you can see now I'm starting the roof. What I plan on doing is just putting steps on top of and underneath each other, just to build the roof. I think it looks nice. It's simple, it's elegant, and it fits the build very nice. As you can see here, down the center, some people would just put regular, like, I don't know, wooden planks, but it's always good to put a little bit of a different, like, material there, to say the least. Makes it pop out a bit more and makes it more structurally sound. Now I'm gonna be talking about the build being structurally sound, and yes, I know that there's no gravity or anything in Minecraft, but the thing is, most builds, if you're gonna be building them like a house or something like that's gonna look realistic, you're gonna want something that, well, looks realistic. And realistic things are going to be structurally stable, or at least look structurally stable. So, I mean, as you can see here, like, there's plenty of logs holding this up, and there's going to be plenty of support as well. So what I end up doing is, I finish the roof, I mirror on the other side, and I actually change the cobblestone in the middle to a log, going either way, which I think it looks a lot nicer, looks kind of Nordic or Viking style. And here, well there, I was kind of deciding if I wanted to put anything else on the roof. Thought it looked a bit plain, but if I feel like changing it, I'll come back. So right now, what I'm actually doing is I'm planning to put some windows in there. And windows and stairs do not interact, so it's always a bit of a pain, actually. So what I end up doing is I replace those upside down stairs with some more logs. This will allow me to actually, like, connect the glass panes, as well as I think it looks a little bit better. Adds some more structural stability to it. Ooh, also, when you're building any buildings, try not to make rooms massive, because there's a big problem you're gonna have to overcome, and it's lighting. Now, in creative, that may not seem like a big deal, the lighting, but if you're in survival, if you're building your house, you don't want to make massive rooms that you have to put torches on the floor for. That just looks ugly. And it looks really unrealistic. So as you can see here, I'm actually adding some ribbed designs to the underside of the roof here. Again, adding the more structural, like, integrity. And adding some more logs here to help support. Not only do the logs help support, but they also, like, draw the outline of the house itself. And I think that just really makes it pop out and stand out from the rest of the builds. Alright, right here, I'm kind of debating internally whether I should be using some fancy glass panes or just normal glass panes. And as you can see when I fly out right here, excuse me, that looks way too busy. The cobblestone is a very busy block, and I decided that some simple glass would look a lot better than decorative ornate glass. So I do the same thing to this side. As you can see, those logs are causing the glass panes to connect pretty nicely. Alright, so at this point I start to try to work on the walls, but at this point I'm still not entirely sure about what I want. So I mean, I take away that cobblestone, put some more brick there. I start to like how the brick looks, but then I decided that pillars need some support too, because they're just kind of like flimsy little sticks there, sitting in the ground. So I'm going around and I'm starting to put some more support for them as well. As you can see here, got that all done. But I'm thinking in my mind, they just look a little bit too similar. So I come to the ends of each house and I raise them each up by one. Just thinking that looks a lot better. It kind of like flows with the roof as well. A little bit of a triangle feeling. And now I end up working on the walls. And I decide to mainly use cobblestone, glass, and stone brick. Now for these small builds, you can really like mess up a build by just putting like simple like blocks. If you use stairs or I don't know, even slabs, you can like make some very nice crenellations and add some nice detail into your build. Like right there, you can see I ended up liking that a little bit, but I just wanted to adjust it and alter it. So I can actually use panes here because I have two solid bricks or blocks on the side so they can connect. And I end up topping that off with some more stairs and coming around to it to fix it up a little bit. Now that just looks a lot nicer. Instead of just having solid cobblestone walls, you're putting in extra detail. Now, when you're doing builds, you really want to think about that. You're thinking like, how can I make this look more detailed? How can I make this pop or look better? And even on the interior too, you could see it looks very nice. Alright, so whenever I made that wall, I always thought it was a bit too bland. Too like similar to the rest, in that there needs to be something there. And what I actually end up doing is I end up tearing it down later and putting a chimney there. But what I'm doing now is, in a lot of like Viking buildings, you can see the roofs like actually like kind of peek up at the corners. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to add like a little bit of depth to the roof, to the top of the roof, instead of just having something like flat. And actually, this took me quite a while, but that is the final design that I liked there. And I ended up keeping that till the end. Now then, that's about most of the heavy lifting of the build done. We have the house made, we have the interior done basically, and actually, I say the interior is done, but it's not. It's gonna be blank. It's how you want to do the interior. And actually, I'm not the best with interiors myself either, so I may make a video on that too. But granted, I'll have to do some training for that too. And you can see right here, I cut a little bit of the video out, but that was me just kind of just flying around wondering what I could do. And I ended up coming up with the idea of putting flower beds in front of the windows, adding a little bit of color to the walls, as well as just making the view a lot better from the inside. So I'm putting some rose bushes on the corner, and what I end up doing is I come around with some white tulips and I put them in the beds in the middle, while using podzol for that. Because I think podzol's a nice block. It gives like the feel of a garden, or like a leafy summer, or fall. I'd like to apologize for that Skype notification there too. I will turn that off next time I record. And you can see right here I'm just sprinkling grass everywhere. I feel like grass is very underrated. People usually just try and like plow out of the way, but I like grass. It gives a lot of depth to the yard in the landscape. Alright, so right here I'm starting to build the furnace or the chimney now. And what I want you guys to do from this build is, I don't want you guys just to mindlessly copy this and build it for yourself. What I want you to do is, I want you to take this build and I want you to improve upon it. I want you to put your own flair to it, because that's what building is all about. It's making something the way you want it to be made. Alright, as you can see, just building this furnace or chimney a little bit higher, and that just looks so nice coming out of the house, I think. Gives it some nice depth, and it just stops it from being so plain. Now, here's kind of where I contradict myself a little bit. I try and make these builds so that you can make them in survival, where it would be easy to get like all these materials, like oak, dark oak, bricks, netherrack. The stuff's not hard to get. But cobwebs, they're a little bit difficult to get. You have to get Silk Touch, which can be a bit of a pain. But I mean, it's a small detail. You can leave it out if you want. So right here, I'm getting the fireplace and the fire pit all organized and everything. Of course, fire spreads, so you gotta knock out some wood. And actually, I'm checking out here to see if the fire would spread to the outside, which thank God it doesn't. So I decide that some white diorite would be very nice here. And I was right too. It looks very nice, add a little bit of detail, but unfortunately the roof catches fire. And I sat here for a while thinking about how I could fix that problem, and then I realized that I was just gonna replace it. So I ended up using the bricks there, and that fixed the problem. Alright, so this is our house basically. It's all done now. What we're gonna be doing next is just doing some like finishing detail work. Mainly spreading some more flowers, getting some nice trees up. And you can see here I'm spreading the white tulips like I said I would. Now, this house, while it may look very nice here, is not meant to be built on a mountain. It's not meant to be built in a desert, and it's certainly not meant to be built in an ocean. Houses, really, like, if you're going to be building a house, you need to make sure it fits the environment you're building in. Like, this is kind of a log cabin, or like a plains, or maybe even in a city. Like, I would definitely see this building. So, like, just be careful wherever you're planning. Like, if you're planning in I don't know, like a tundra, you may want something more like subtle. Something that, like, snowdrifts couldn't catch up on easily. Anyways, the trees I decided to use are going to be birch and dark oak wood. I think it's because, like, I really like the theme of this house of just kind of light and dark. Alright, as you can see here, I'm finishing up the gravel path. I feel like gravel is so underrated for what it is. It's a very nice block, and I really wish I saw it more in a lot of builds. Right. They're laying some shrubbery up to the main house there, and I'm just adding a little bit of last minute detailing. Decided to knock those banners down, get some blue ones, even though red is my favorite color. I think blue would work nicer here. So we got those all in there, got all installed. And I think this is it. You can see what I mean when I said before the interior was very clear, or empty. And it's because I'm not very good at interiors. And plus, I just kind of want to leave it open for you. It's right here. I set it to nighttime. And this is the end of our build here. So, you know, I want to thank you guys for watching. It means a lot to me that you're taking the time out of your day to watch my video. And, you know, if you found this build interesting or you want to learn more about building, you can check out my other videos. Maybe even subscribe if you want. Alright. This has been Zach, and have a great day.